Columbus, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. There's Montgomery, Alabama, south of Canada, Montana, and Denver, Colorado, under Boise, Idaho. Texas is Austin, then we go north to Massachusetts, Boston, and Albany, New York, Tallahassee, Florida, and Washington, D.C., Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Nashville, Tennessee. Trenton, New Jersey, and there's Jefferson, Missouri. You got Richmond in Virginia, South Dakota has Pierre, Harrisburg's in Pennsylvania, and there's up in Maine, and there's Providence, Rhode Island, next to Dover, Delaware, Concord, New Hampshire, just up with Dartmouth, to Montpelier, which is up in Vermont, Hartford's in Connecticut, so pretty in the fall, Kansas has Topeka, Minnesota has St. Paul. Juneau's in Alaska, and there's Lincoln in Nebraska, and it's Raleigh out in North Carolina, and then there's Madison, Wisconsin, and Olympia, and Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, and Lansing, Michigan. There's Honolulu, Hawaii's a joy, Jackson, Mississippi, and Springfield, Illinois, South Carolina with Columbia down the way, and Annapolis in Maryland on Chesapeake Bay. Cheyenne's in Wyoming, and perhaps you'll make your home in Salt Lake City out in Utah where the buffalo roam. Atlanta's down in Georgia, and there's Bismarck, North Dakota, and you can live in Frankfort in your own Kentucky home. Salem's in Oregon, from there we join Little Rock in Arkansas, Iowa's got Des Moines, Sacramento, California, Oklahoma, and its city, Charleston, West Virginia, and Nevada, Carson City. Bujumbura's in Burundi, and Djibouti's in Djibouti, and Antananarivo on Madagascar's where it's at, Little Ways in Malawi, and Libya is Tripoli, and Jamaica is from Chad, Morocco, Rabat, Lomé, Congo, Bamako, Mali, Brazzaville, Congo, Maputo, Mozambique, Juba, South Sudan, and then Lusaka, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, Swaziland, and Windhoek, and Namibia. Gaborone and Botswana, Porto Novas and Benin, Sao Tome, Principe, Sao Tome, and again, Tasmania, Dodoma, and Angola has Luanda, Mogadishu, and Somalia, Kigali, and Rwanda, and Yame, and Niger, Accra, and Ghana, and Ethiopia's Addis Ababa, Mazuru, Lesotho, and Moroni, Comoros, and Yamoussoukro is in Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast. Bloemfontein, Cape Pretoria, all in South Africa, and Nouakchott, Mauritania, Banjul, and Gambia, there's Victoria, Seychelles, and Dakar in Senegal, and Tunisia, and in Uganda, Kampala, Burkina Faso, has Ouagadougou, and then Yaoundé's in Cameroon, Conakry's in Guinea, and Khartoum is in Sudan, and there's Cairo around Egypt where the treasury stands. Port Louis is in Mauritius, Monrovia, Liberia, Zimbabwe has Harare, and Abuja is in Nigeria, and then Algiers, Algeria, and Libreville, Gabon, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Guinea-Bissau is just Bissau, and in Sierra Leone's from town, Kenya has Nairobi, Equatorial Guinea, Malabo, Central African Republic's Bangui. Eritrea has Asmara, Reunion has Tanzania, Trinidad has Edinburgh, up the Seven Seas, Hargeisa has in Somalia has Mammoth, the surrounding Arab Republic is LA, and then Georgetown on the island Ascension, St. Helena's, Jamestown I should mention, Praya's on Cape Verde, it means beach Portuguese, now we've settled all of Africa and the surrounding seas. Delhi is in India, and the Philippines, Ulaanbaatar's in Mongolia, Malaysia, Maldives, and Ivory, all along Peru, Lebanon, Ashgabat is in Turkmenistan, Muscat is in Oman, so South Korea, Timbuktu, Bhutan, and in Armenia is Yerevan, Dhaka, Bangladesh, and then Astana, Kazakhstan, Tbilisi is in Georgia, Tokyo is in Japan. Naypyidaw is in Myanmar, and Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan, Kathmandu is in Nepal, and Kabul's in Afghanistan, Sibali in South Ossetia, Dushanbe, Tajikistan, Riyadh's in Saudi Arabia, Hanoi's in Vietnam, Bandar Seri, Begawan in Brunei, and now Hong Kong's a region in China, Pyongyang, North Korea, Singapore, and Singapore, and Islamabad in Pakistan, and Dili, East Timor. Sriwijaya, Napura, and Sri Lanka we find, East Jerusalem, Ramallah in the state of Palestine, Manama is in Bahrain, and Baku's in Azerbaijan, Tashkent is in Uzbekistan, and Jordan has a line, Stepan, the Kurds in Nagorno-Karabakh, Macau's in Chinese region like Hong Suyumi's in Abkhazia, Korean cities in Kuwait, and Israel, Jerusalem, and Nasri in Turkey. Indonesia has Jakarta, and Taipei is in Taiwan, and then Erbil is in Kurdistan, Tehran is in Iran, Kuala Lumpur is in Malaysia, and Damascus, Syria, Abu Dhabi is in the UAE, and Yemen, Sana'a, Cyprus and its northern part, Nicosia, Epis, Supi, Kajimitin, Tequila, Akrotiri, Tumpena, and Cambodia, and in Turkey, Ankara, and in Qatar, Doha. The Chagos The Cocos Islands have West Island, and they're also known as Kylan. The People's Republic of China's capital is Beijing. Flying Fish Cove is on Christmas Island, and you can go to Bangkok in Thailand. Bangkok's in Iraq, the US slide to go invade China. Now we've covered all the countries and the capitals in Asia. In Romania, Kiev is in Ukraine, Vilnius in Lithuania, and then Madrid in Spain. Casey now is in Moldova, and Christina Kosovo. Luxembourg's in Luxembourg, and Monaco's in Monaco. Helsinki, Finland, Liechtenstein, Vaduz, Reykjavik, Iceland, Minsk in Belarus, Lisbon, Portugal, and then in Germany, Berlin. Copenhagen is in Denmark, and Estonia, Tallinn. Sarajevo is in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bratislava is in Slovakia, then Riga, Latvia, Paris, France, and Athens, Greece, that was on the island man. And the Netherlands are Holland for the Dutch and Amsterdam. The Vatican City is just Vatican City, and in Oslo, Norway, those fjords are so pretty. And Dublin is in Ireland, and Rome's in Italy, and St. Peter Port in the British Crown dependent Secret Sea. Tiraspol is in Transnistria, and Moscow is in Russia. In the Czech Republic, Prague, and in Belgium there is Brussels, Podgorica, and Montenegro, and on Malta there's Valetta. And Albania, Tirana, and in Austria, Vienna. Croatia, Zagreb, Switzerland's Bern. Serbia's Belgrade, Svalbard, Bulgaria, Bulgaria, Sofia, and the United Kingdom's London, San Marino, and Gibraltar's capitals are just redundant. Ljubljana is in Slovenia, Hungary has Budapest, and the Stockholm up in Sweden, Macedonia, Skopje. The Faroe Islands have Torshavn, territory of the Danes, and Jersey of the British Crowns, Paris, Saint Helier, almost Edinburgh, Scotland, Berlin, Warsaw, Andorra has Andorra, Levala, and on the islands is the Finnish Mariehamn, and we finished all the capitals and countries European. Guatemala, Panama cities, and those kings on riches on Stevenson and the Renegades. Kings on shouldn't be confused with kings on riches on Jamaica. Separate enemies, Gustavia, St. George's, El Grenada, Havana, Cuba, Dominico, Rizzo, Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, Puerto Prince in Haiti, and the Limas in Peru. Puerto Rico has one, and then in Greenland there is Nuke. Wilma Pen is in Belize, and Buenos Aires, Argentina. So is in Ecuador, and Castro's is in St. Lucia, Paramaribo, and Suriname, South in the Bahamas. In Brazil, Brasilia, in Venezuela, there's Caracas, Antigua, and Barbuda, St. John's, on Martinique, we find Port de France, Colombia's Bogota, and then Richards and Barbados. There's Port of Spain, which is Trinidad's and Tobago's. Santiago is in Chile, Curacao has Wilhelmstadt, and Bolivia has Sucre, and it also has La Paz. Nicaragua has Managua, French Guiana has Cayenne, San Jose in Costa Rica, Philipsburg, and San Martin. There's also St. Martin, and it's Marigo, and Uruguay has Montevideo, Asante, Paraguay, Panama City, Panama, Hamilton is in Bermuda, Ottawa's in Canada. Saint-Pierre and Miquelon will share the capital Saint-Pierre. Don't forget that little hyphen like in Guadalupe's fast hair. Not to be confused with Bastard of St. Kitts and Nevis. To O'Reilly's, that's in Aruba and St. Eustatius. The UK's Villa has the Valley. The US Virgin Islands has Charlotte Valley. And Washington DC of the 15 United States. And the British Montserrat will play a midland grades. So Honduras has Taguchi, Nova Seba has the bottom, and the islands Nassau and Clipperton have no one on them. And then Georgetown has two separate words on the islands Cayman. And there's Georgetown and Guiana just to screw with all the laymen. There's Old Copper Town on the Turks and Caicos Islands, Rhodes and Virgin Islands and the Kingdom United, El Salvador, San Salvador, and the Falkland Islands standing. And the Bonners crawling dog completes the American family. There's a Lovian way and then a river Tapala, and the Pias on Samoa and the Gunoa Tupala. That's a two of Wallace and Tuna, and the Cook Islands have Aruba. Agana is a Roman Palacios in Micronesia, and then Papua 18, which is in the French Polynesia. Holland Island drops in Atoll, Jarvis Island, Canary, Midway and Palmyra Atolls, and then Suez on Fiji, Ashmore and Nantucket Islands, Canberra, Australia. Wake and Baker Islands are American areas. Pengo's on American Samoa, and New Mayo's on Caledonia. There's Wellington, New Zealand, and the islands Coral Sea, and on Papua New Guinea there is Port Moresby. Nuku'alofa of Tom and Alfred, 4 islands, Crusade. Pitcairn Islands, Adamstown, and Bouvet Island on their way. There's Martinique, Vivier of St. Paul and Amsterdam. The U.S.'s northern Islands have St. Pan, the Kerguelen Islands have Port-au-Français, and Norfolk Island has Kingston like Jamaica. South Georgia and the island South Sandwich have King Edward Point, which sounds pretty British. The McDonald Islands and the Islands of Birds are part of Australia and the bottom of the world. The Marshall Islands and the Islands of Solomon have Majuro and Honiara. Have we finished learning all Antarctica and Oceania?